Hello guys and gals, me Mutahar. It's a little off the cuff video, actually, as you can imagine. I'm sitting down over here, talking to the ghosts around me, so to speak. It's late at night, and generally one thing that I dislike are age restrictions. Help this make sense to me. Now, one of the most popular categories of content on the internet is true crime stuff, right? Like realistic true crime, people looking into like really, really dark things on the internet all the time. It's probably one of the reasons why like 99% of individuals have their Netflix account active, okay? It's either true crime documentaries or Breaking Bad, okay? Pick one or the other. That's pretty much what people go down for. And yet on YouTube and most of social media, it's one of the most demonized categories by like moderators, advertisers, and downright the guidelines team. So earlier tonight, there was I made this video, obviously the North Korean video, when we talk about VX crazy stuff, crazy story, crazy situation. And everything's all fine and dandy until, YouTube, age restriction comes in. Now, I usually don't care if a video gets demonetized. Usually, if it's a darker subject, dude, I do it myself, okay? You go down into the whole checklist. Is your video, do you have swearing? Hell yeah, I swear. Is there going to be any controversial The whole video is controversial, okay? Every minute. Of course. And then, you get the yellow Dolan sign and you call it a day, right? Now, age restrictions are painful, okay? It's like getting waterboarded because, your video's doing fine, it's doing dandy, it's getting shown to all the chicky babes on the internet. All the cool kids get to watch it, and then you get that age restriction. Oh boy, that age restriction is like a slap to the face. The video basically dies, right? Like, you look into the metrics, the video is just like, it's treading water, okay? It's like YouTube's like, moderation team is assassinating. Agent 47 is out there, straight up strangling the performance out of the thing. Now, generally, when it comes to an age restriction, YouTube usually provides you like a timestamp. In this case, they didn't. So, I was like, all right, well, I guess I might file an appeal. Now, when you file an appeal, last time I did this, basically the entire moderation happened within a minute, okay? Like speed moderation, all right? They had a crackhead look at the video and say, yeah, this is bad. A 40-minute video, they're like, yeah, it's bad. Now, in this one, they reviewed it for like 5-6 minutes and everything was good. They took off the age restriction and everything seems to be fine. But this is one of the things that doesn't really make sense to me. So generally when I make these kind of videos, and you can ask any of your favorite horror YouTubers the same situation, right? You can ask Nexpo, you can ask Nick Crowley, you can ask Blame It On Jorge, you can ask That Creepy Reading, you can ask anybody. Anybody that like covers, darker stuff on the internet, makes a video out of it, and then uploads it. Like I'm pretty sure if you ask Ryan Nexpo, hey man, every time I post disturbing things on the internet, I gotta be dodging age restrictions like Neo from The Matrix, okay? Like a Smash YouTuber from like, the police. I gotta be dodging things left and right. So, this is where it doesn't make sense to me. Any of the footage that I source, and I have a rule about this, I'm real good with dodging age restrictions. You know why? Because I play it really safe. I've gotten messages time and time during the deep web, during any time I cover darker things. Why do you blur things out so much? Shit, every time I'm looking at your video, it's like I'm drunk. Well, that's because if I don't blur everything out sometimes or get overly, sensitive with the censorship, then obviously it's going to trick a red flag on here, okay? It's either an age restriction or, God forbid, the video gets guideline striked, okay? Which is like a very real thing for certain people, okay? It's a very real thing you have to go to. There's like stages of bad, okay? Demonetization, don't even care, okay? It doesn't matter. One video gets demonetized, cool. It's fine. The money is not that important, as much as it is the video getting out to people. Age restriction, videos stamped down. Community guideline strike, all right, now I'm actually pissing and shitting myself. There's a lot that can go wrong. But what really doesn't make sense to me is when you grab footage, and one of my rules is it's like, hey, listen, if the footage is available on YouTube, right? Through like the Wall Street Journal or like a big, source, right? Like an actual, third-party source, well-respected on the platform. How is it that they get to show that entire content without any age restriction, play ads left and right, And then as soon as you replay that same exact footage without any moderation, without any like, modifications to it, then you get age restricted. Then you get slapped with the yellow Dolan. Then you get treated like a fucking, outcast in the entire platform. How is it that these bigger organizations are just freely allowed to upload this kind of content, cover interesting, true crime related material, and then your average YouTuber is like trying to dodge bullets uploading this content? That's one of the things that have never made sense to me. Now, YouTube as a platform is super duper weird. Like, it wasn't too long ago that I went to war with like the naked yoga community where people would literally re-upload adult movies and be like, it's naked yoga, it's an educational topic. All right, literally like a week, 2 weeks ago, we had the hair removal video on YouTube, right? That got age restricted, still allowed on the platform, still was being really pushed. Hell, there was a lot of people that ended up watching that video because their friends rickrolled them with it, okay? They just sent that as a tiny URL. Some guy clicks on it, boom, you're looking at like butthole hair removal. And that was an educational video. It wasn't meant to titillate the senses. I mean, I sure as hell wasn't turned on. Maybe a little bit. Because it is like butthole hair removal, but at the end of the day, I learned how to remove, hair from my ass. But then again, when it comes back to a lot of this content, it's like anytime you want to talk about a sensitive topic, right? Like anytime you want to cover something super duper interesting from like a darker side of the world, it's like, unless you're the CNN or like Fox or like a lot of these big organizations, then you get away completely crystal clear. And it's one of those things where I really wish this changes for like YouTubers going forward, because I'm a huge consumer of true crime related content. If I'm not watching speed running or video game graphics content or programming related stuff, it's always darker true crime related material. And it's always those YouTubers who every time they jump into that pool of content, they have to be dodging all of these policy guidelines when they really shouldn't. Okay, there needs to be one standard on this platform, right? Like, if big organizations are allowed to cover the same content, like Vice is allowed to talk about the craziest shit in the world, okay? They're allowed to talk about threesomes and cannibals. But yet if like an average YouTuber tried doing it because they're not Vice, congratulations, bucko, age restrictions. Hell, you're lucky we ain't policy striking your ass. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. Makes sense to me. It's a weird side of the platform. Look, I love YouTube. I love making content. Wouldn't be here if I wouldn't enjoy it. But it's always this like weird schism, this like class A, class B system on the site that just wilds me out. I wanted to talk about it because, honestly, the last thing I like doing is writing emails and appeals. That shouldn't be a part of YouTube. That shouldn't even be a thing whenever you dip your toe into like darker waters. But yeah, that's what I wanted to talk about, man. Wild shit. Anyways, I'm going to head to bed. Take care. Good night. Sleep well. And, yeah,